Chapter 3744. Hearing that Suyu had woken up, Huamin was also a little excited. Following the nurse, he quickly walked over. After Suyu woke up, Lady Su was undoubtedly the most excited. She hugged her son and cried bitterly before she calmed down. When Huamin entered, Lady Su was still crying. Suyu raised his hand and wiped away his mother's tears. "Mom, don't cry, okay? I'm not dead." Suyu's voice was still very weak. "Shut up, what nonsense are you talking about?" The older generation seemed to be very wary of these words. "Oh, I'm fine. Take care of yourself. Something happens to you from crying, what am I going to do?" "It's all because you scared me." Lady Su's eyes were red. At this age, she basically lived for her children. Lady Su's health wasn't good. After giving birth to Suyu, she never had another child. Therefore, she only had one son. If something happened to Suyu, the consequences would be unimaginable. Yes, it's all my fault. Mom, don't cry. You can hit me or scold me, but don't cry, okay? When you cry, my heart hurts. Suyu wasn't good at coaxing girls, but he was still good at coaxing his mother. Obviously, Lady Su enjoyed these words. She picked up a small handkerchief and wiped her eyes. At this moment, Huamian walked in as well. "Auntie, you've been tired all day and night. Go to sleep. Leave this to me. Mian, it's good that you're here. Quickly check on you and see how he's recovering." "Okay, I'll give him a good checkup. Can you go back and rest?" Huamin also carefully coaxed Lady Su. "Okay, I'll go back and sleep for a while." "Auntie, do Lord Su and Uncle Su know about Suyu? How can such a big thing be concealed?" "I've already told them, but the good thing is that Yu is fine now. His father and grandfather will probably arrive tonight." "Okay, then let's all come together tonight. I haven't seen them for a long time." Lady Su nodded and then left with a peace of mind. After that, the door closed, leaving only Suyu and Huamin in the room. Huamin was wearing a white coat and a pair of black-rimmed glasses. She was still the same as when Suyu first saw her. Suyu almost had an illusion that he was sitting in a time machine. He traveled back in time to a few years ago when he injured his leg while racing and then recuperated at Southside. At that time, Huamin had just become a doctor. A newborn calf wasn't afraid of a tiger. She insulted the Su family's crown prince until his heart, liver, and lungs hurt. Huamin stood in front of the hospital bed and looked at Suyu, who had woken up. Instantly, his eyes moistened. "Don't cry, please don't cry. I just comforted one. I really don't have the strength to comfort a second one," Suyu said half-jokingly. "I won't. I just think that you're really lucky. You didn't die even after that." "Oh, of course. Grandpa Death won't take me in." "Hey, Lord Su, why don't you ask how Han Yueyao is?" "Do I need to ask?" "Of course she's fine. If I can wake up from this, she's definitely fine. She's lighter than me." Suyu seemed confident. Huamin sighed slightly. "Yeah, at the critical moment, our great hero Su turned the steering wheel and sacrificed himself to save the beauty. Hee, shouldn't there be applause here?" Suyu smiled proudly. Chapter 3745. There's no applause, but there are slaps. "How many do you want?" "I'm a patient, how can you hit a patient? Hitting you is already a light punishment. Do you know that you almost scared us to death?" Huamin's voice trembled as she said this. She really wanted to cry. It was so good to see Suyu alive and well. He was so happy. "Isn't it all in the past? My mom said that this time it's all thanks to Qin Chu. Yeah, my husband performed the surgery on you himself. So, I kind of owe him a big favor. This guy is really cunning. He knows that I'm amenable to coaxing but not coercion. I'm fine with it if he hits or scolds me, but he's doing me such a favor. How can I openly like you in the future?" Suyu said it so calmly that Huamin didn't feel as awkward as before. She just smiled and said, "So don't like him anymore. His husband saved your life and you're still thinking about his wife. Aren't you a scumbag?" "Don't worry, his wife is pregnant and ugly. She's as fat as a pig. I don't like her." "You're the pig," Huamin immediately retorted when she realized that she was being scolded. Then Suyu smiled. Huamin sat on the chair in front of him. "Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere?" "Yeah, I do." "Where?" Huamin was slightly nervous. "My stomach is growling. Dr. Hua, can you help me check if I'm hungry?" Hearing that Suyu was deliberately teasing him, Huamin was so angry that she reached out her hand and was about to hit him. Suyu instinctively wanted to dodge. In the end, Huamin couldn't really hit him. After all, Suyu was a patient. Stop fooling around, let's talk. Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? No, I'm fine. I'm full of health again. Are you dizzy? No. Does it hurt? I'm fine at the moment. I don't feel much pain. Did Chin Chu perform a craniotomy on me? It's not that serious. You just have a blood clot. Then it's fine. I'll get someone to do a full body checkup on you later, including blood pressure, blood lipids and blood sugar. Can I eat first? I'm so hungry. No, you can eat it after the test, Huamin emphasized. Alright, you call the shots at your hospital. Then you lie down first, I'll arrange it now. After that, Huamin slowly got up to leave. Mion. When Huamin was about to walk out of the door, Suyu suddenly stopped her. Huamin turned around and smiled. It's good to see you again, Suyu said seriously. Me too. With these 3 words, Huamin opened the door and walked out. Huamin knew Suyu was referring to this narrow escape from death. To be honest, the moment the Lamborghini crashed, Suyu thought he was dead for sure. After all, it was so fast and had such a huge impact. He didn't think he would be so lucky to be fine and wake up alive to see the people he cared about. The first was his mother and the second was Huamin. After arranging everything, Huamin went to Han Yueyao's room next door. When Huamin went in, Han Yueyao seemed to be in a daze. She looked out the window with something in her eyes that he couldn't see clearly. Yao Yao. Sister Mion. How are you feeling today? Pretty good. That's good. You can get out of bed slowly tomorrow. Yeah, I will. Sister Mion. I heard President Su woke up. Hearing the news that Su Yu woke up, Han Yueyao wanted to go to him immediately, but she suppressed the impulse. After all, she was nothing to Su Yu. She didn't want to become the second Zheng Ro and become a dogskin plaster. Chapter 3746. Yeah, he's awake. How is he recovering? Will he be disabled? Han Yueyao asked anxiously. Yeah, he will. Hearing Huamin say Suyu would be disabled, Han Yueyao's heart sank. Suyu will probably be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I'm afraid he won't be able to find a wife in the future. You know, he became like this to save you. Do you want to marry him? Han Yueyao's heart sank and she almost burst into tears when she heard the first part of the story. But when she heard Huamian say she wanted to marry him, Han Yueyao immediately understood it was a prank. Sister Mion, why are you teasing me at a time like this? You scared me to death. The thing is, I want to see if you have the determination to work hard to repay Suyu. Let me remind you, it's too tiring to work hard, but it's easier to be his wife. Huamin chuckled. Sister Mion, don't tease me. I just hope President Su won't have any sequelae because of what happened this time. Otherwise, I'll never feel at ease for the rest of my life. Han Yueyao said it seriously. Huamin didn't have the heart to tease her. Yeah, don't worry. He'll be fine and won't have any sequelae. My husband is the best neurosurgeon in the country. Huamian didn't forget to praise her husband as she comforted Han Yueyao. Yeah, I believe President Qin did his best to save President Su. I'm sure he'll get better soon. By the way, Yao, I have something to tell you. What is it? Someone has paid for your medical expenses. What do you mean? Didn't Lady Su pay for me? Han Yueyao was puzzled. Yes, Auntie Su paid for you. But for some reason another person came this morning claiming to be your friend. After checking your medical expenses, he returned the money to Auntie Su and put it in an envelope in Su Yu's room. Auntie Su was exhausted and probably didn't have time to check it. Did you tell your family about this? Huamin thought it was Han Yueyao's family. In fact, Han Yueyao's medical expenses were less than 50,000 yuan in total. The Su family didn't lack this small amount of money. But now, someone had inexplicably appeared out of nowhere to exchange money for her. This made her puzzled. Huamian thought if they were Han Yueyao's parents, they would come to visit her in the ward. I didn't tell my family. Do you have any other friends here? Huamin asked. No one. Han Yueyao thought of Su Xiaoxiao. After all, Xiaoxiao was rich. But on second thought, she didn't think it was right. Even Su Xiaoxiao knew the medical expenses were paid by the Su family. They were family and didn't need to be so calculative. Could it be? At this moment, a figure flashed across Han Yueyao's mind. Then her expression darkened. If it was really him, what was going on? They weren't friends, so how could he pay 50,000 yuan for her? Do you know who it is? Yeah, it might be another friend of mine. I'll call and ask. Hey, have some rest. Ask the nurse to call me if you need anything. Huamin stood up and was about to leave. Sister Mion, can I go and see President Su? Han Yueyao bit her lip. She didn't know what to say. She was afraid others would misunderstand that she had improper thoughts about Su Yu. Of course. But it's inconvenient for you to move. How about this? I'll ask the nurse to get a wheelchair and push you there. Okay. Han Yueyao was overjoyed to hear him say okay. Huamin walked out and was on his way to his office when he received a call from Zhu Lingling. Hey big girl, what's up? Huamin answered the phone lazily. Mian, I want to divorce Gao Ran. Chapter 3747. Stop fooling around, it's not April Fool's Day today. Huamin didn't take Zhu Lingling's words to heart at all. He thought this woman was definitely pranking him. I'm not fooling around. I'm serious. Zhu Lingling's tone was very calm. Swear. If you lie to me. Before Huamin could finish, Zhu Lingling calmly continued. If I lie to you, I'll never be a C-cup. You are really ruthless. You even made such a vicious oath. Are you at the hospital? I'll go find you. Zhu Lingling was very depressed. Yeah, I'm at the hospital. Come over first, we'll talk about the details when we meet. Huamin comforted Zhu Lingling first, then hung up the phone and immediately called Gao Ran. Mian, there's no new development on that matter. If there is, I'll let you know immediately. Qinchu and I are both paying attention. Gao Ran thought that Huamin called to find out the force behind Su Yu's death. However, he guessed wrong this time. Gao Ran, did you and Lingling have a fight? Huh. Gao Ran was completely dumbfounded. Then, are you guys in a cold war? No. Gao Ran carefully thought back and found that everything had been fine recently. Then, are you guys having a bad sex life recently? Huamin thought hard and almost laughed after asking this question. Gao Ran, Huamin, are you deliberately looking for trouble? No, I'm really not. I'm just trying to find out what's going on between you and your wife. No, we're getting along very well. Gao Ran thought that although it wasn't very frequent, it wasn't a small number. American physiologists concluded that couples normally do it twice a week. Alright then, it's fine. Why are you asking about this all of a sudden? Gao Ran was puzzled. Huamin was not a gossipy person. She would not suddenly ask such a question for no reason, so she felt very uneasy. I'm fine. I'm just helping my little bean find out if her future in-laws have a good relationship. Huamin also spouted a bunch of nonsense to deceive the others. Gao Ran was dumbfounded again. After hanging up the phone, he tilted his head and thought hard. After hanging up the call with Gao Ran, Huamin also had doubts in his heart. What the hell is going on? One was clamoring for a divorce, while the other didn't know what was going on. Could it be? A ridiculous thought flashed through Huamin's mind. But she didn't say it out loud. She was waiting for Zhu Lingling to come and confront her face to face. An hour later, Zhu Lingling drove to South Side and went straight to Huamin's office. Sister Lingling. When Qin Jie saw Zhu Lingling, she thought she was here to see Su Yu. Is Mian in there? Yes, you can go in. Zhu Lingling nodded. She didn't seem to be in a good state of mind. It was chilly in the north in autumn. Zhu Lingling was wearing a dark gray sports suit and a black baseball cap. The brim of the cap was pressed low. When Zhu Lingling pushed open the door and walked in, Huamin had just finished making a pot of flower tea. Hey, you're just in time. I just finished making the flower tea. Huamin smiled. I don't want flower tea. Do you have arsenic trioxide? Give me some. Zhu Lingling threw her bag on the sofa and lay down on the sofa. Pfft. Huamin almost spat out the flower tea he just drank. Huamin and Qinchu had known Gao Ran since they were teenagers, so they knew what kind of person he was. Coincidence? How could it be a coincidence? If it was just one or two things, then so be it. There are so many things. Look, hats, sunglasses. So many coincidences. Is it still a coincidence? Zhu Lingling pointed at the photos excitedly. Lingling, then, other than these, do you have any other evidence? Huamin asked calmly. Chapter 3749. Isn't that enough? Zhu Lingling's eyes widened in confusion. How could Huamin be so calm? As her best friend in China, shouldn't he be helping her deal with the adulterer? Lingling, what's the girl's name? How old is she? Did you find out? Damn it, I'm so angry. Tell me, how can girls be so shameless nowadays? Everyone in the city knows that my husband is married. How old is Buing? She's still trying to seduce him. My old Gao is definitely not as good-looking as your Mr. Qin. He's not even as good-looking as Suyu. Logically speaking, he shouldn't be attracting so much attention. Zhu Lingling seemed to have a stomach full of grievances. Your old Gao is a good-looking man, okay? He's the youngest director of the city bureau in history. He's the son of a high-ranking official and comes from a wealthy family. He drives a police car to work and drives his own private car after work, a million-yuan luxury car. He's resolute in his work and has a good character. That's what makes him attractive, right? Huamin said with a smile. Damn it. Now that you mention it, it's true. Hey Mian, why are there so many shameless people nowadays? She's young and pretty. Why does she have to be a homewrecker? Zhu Lingling was furious. That's why there are all kinds of birds in the sea. I'm so angry. So Lingling, how do you want to solve it? How? Do you still need to ask? If it's true that he cheated on me, I'll definitely divorce him. But before that, I want to find evidence of his infidelity. The more the better. I'll sue him in court and kick him out of the house with nothing. Let's see if that woman is still willing to live a hard life with him when he has nothing. Damn it, I'm so angry. It seemed that Zhu Lingling was so angry that she was cursing. Huamin wasn't in a hurry. He just smiled faintly. How can you still laugh? Are you not worried because the fire hasn't reached your house yet? Zhu Lingling glared at Huamian, looking as if she had been wronged. Lingling, you're right. Calm down first. How about this? You haven't laid your cards on the table with Gao Ran yet, right? Not yet. I'm afraid of alerting the enemy. I'm not that stupid. And you did the right thing. You can't do it secretly and you can't be too obvious to Gao Ran. It'll be bad if he finds out. As for me, I'll help you collect more evidence and then we'll send the adulterers to court, okay? Okay. Zhu Lingling nodded her head, but she still seemed to be angry in her heart. Then Lingling, who will Buyun belong to when you two get divorced? Huamin asked deliberately. It's my son. Of course I'm taking him away. What if the Gao family won't let you? He won't. That bastard Gao Ran would cheat on his wife. I don't think my in-laws will let a scumbag like him raise a child. Besides, if he really marries a mistress, it won't be good for my son. Zhu Lingling said as tears rolled down her cheeks. To be honest, Huamin wasn't serious because he thought there must be some misunderstanding. Gao Ran would never abandon his wife and child to fool around with a mistress, no matter how beautiful he was. If he really was that kind of person, Gao Ran wouldn't have married Lingling. With his status as a high-ranking official, he could have any woman he wanted. But Huamin couldn't say this to Zhu Lingling. She was so angry that she wouldn't listen to any comforting words. Lingling, calm down. Marriage crises are something we have to go through at our age. Mr. Qin loves me so much, but we still went through the Song Yisher incident. Chapter 3750. How can it be the same? Song Yisher's love is one-sided. My old man is charmed by a young girl. Zhu Linglin was furious at the mention of this. Right. I almost forgot that you've investigated that woman. Tell me about her. I want to see what kind of person your love rival is. Didn't I tell you? She graduated from the Public Security University. She's pretty and curvy. Damn it. He's just a slut. What's her name? Qin Yuning. Age? 25. Home address? She's from the city. She said she's from the east side of the city. I didn't check carefully. Family background? I think she's self-employed. Her family owns a shop. Oh right. It's a shop that sells Crossbridge rice noodles. She's the only daughter of her parents. Yeah. Huamin shook his head thoughtfully. Yeah, what do you mean? Do you want me to smash her shop? Ahem. What's in your head? I didn't ask you to smash her shop. Ms. Zhu Lingling, calm down. Huh. Huamin reached out and pinched Zhu Lingling's cheek. It was just like when they were in high school. Mian, you have to help me this time. My heart feels empty. I don't know what to do. Yeah. Don't worry. Your business is my business. That's more like it. So good to have a rich friend. Anyway, if I divorce and have no money, I can take Buin out. Yeah. I'll take care of you and your son forever. Huh. You're indeed my best friend from China. After chatting with Huamin, Zhu Lingling felt less depressed. Before leaving, Huamin reminded her repeatedly. He told her not to make trouble and to follow his orders. He also told her not to ask Gao Ran for help and not to quarrel or fight. Zhu Lingling nodded and remembered everything. Huamin let out a sigh of relief. After Zhu Lingling left, Huamin looked at the photos again. They were all taken secretly and they were all solo shots. But look at clothes, shoes, hats, sunglasses and other similar items. It had to be said that it was too much of a coincidence. There was definitely something fishy going on. However, Huamin leaned on the sofa and looked at the photo carefully. His mind was spinning fast. On the other side, the nurse pushed her to Su Yu's room in a wheelchair. When she reached the door, she was still very nervous. It was as if he didn't dare to meet Su Yu. "Miss Han, are we going in?" "Wait, let me think." She didn't know what to say to Su Yu. She wanted the nurse to push her back because she wasn't ready. At this time, Lady Su arrived, followed by the nanny and bodyguards. "Yao Yao." "Su." "Auntie, hello." Han Yueyao greeted her awkwardly and stuttered. "Why are you out? Can you move?" "I'm fine. Sister Mian said I can walk in a wheelchair." "That's great. I was just about to ask the nanny to bring you the bone soup. Look, I stewed a lot." Lady Su raised the thermos in her hand. "Thank you, Auntie. What are you doing at the door? Did you go to see you?" Let's go. I'll push you in." Yu is quite worried about your injury. This time he'll be more at ease. Before Han Yueyao could speak, Lady Su handed the thermos to the nanny behind her. Then she pushed Han Yueyao into Su Yu's room. Han Yueyao felt like her scalp was about to explode. How sudden was this? Chapter 3751. When Lady Su wheeled Han Yueyao in, Su Yu was lying down and watching TV. Hearing the sound, Su Yu turned around. He saw Han Yueyao in a hospital gown. She was very good-looking without makeup, but because she was weak, her complexion looked a little pale. "You look, who's here?" Mrs. Su had been trying to matchmake the two of them. Especially after this car accident, although she knew that Su Yu was seriously injured in order to protect Han Yueyao. However, Lady Su didn't complain. Instead, she felt that since her son could protect this little girl, she must be extraordinary. When Su Yu looked over, Han Yueyao pursed her lips and looked a little shy. "President Su, are you paralyzed? Why are you in a wheelchair?" Seeing Han Yueyao enter in a wheelchair, Su Yu's heart sank. "Han Yueyao, what are you talking about? Yao Yao's leg hasn't recovered yet. Mian knows she can't walk, so she asked the nurse to get a wheelchair." Lady Su glared at her son. Only then did Su Yu look like he suddenly understood. You two talk first. The bone soup is a little cold. I'll go to the cafeteria to heat it up." In order to create an opportunity for the two of them to be alone, Lady Su pushed Han Yueyao to Su Yu's bedside and left. "Hey, Auntie Su, Han Yueyao felt that it was inconvenient for her to move, so she just sat there and looked at Su Yu. Wasn't she a little too stupid? "Are you still in pain?" Han Yueyao didn't expect Su Yu to be so gentle. He didn't argue or criticize her. Instead, he asked if she was still in pain. His words warmed Han Yueyao's heart. "Doesn't hurt much anymore. I'm young and have a good physique. You make it sound like I'm in my 70s or 80s. I'll recover soon." "It's good that you're fine. Otherwise, I think I'll feel guilty for the rest of my life." She lowered her head as if apologizing to Su Yu. "Why are you feeling guilty? I'm the one who got you into this mess. If you weren't in my car and I didn't insist on sending you home, maybe you wouldn't have been in a taxi." Su Yu smiled. "No, I didn't think of it that way. I only know that if you hadn't turned the steering wheel in time, maybe I would have been." In the end, her voice dropped to a whisper. That's enough. Let's not put on a pitiful act here. Aren't we all fine now? The world is blessed." Su Yu did not like to stir up emotions, so when he saw that the atmosphere was a little off, he immediately changed the situation. "President Su, I'll never make you angry again and I'll never talk back to you again." "Oh my, has his temperament changed?" Su Yu was amused. "No, in any case, you're my savior now. I can't continue to diss you like that. I feel uneasy," Han Yueyao said slowly. Su Yu nodded. "Yeah, you're right. But can you give me back the money you cheated me out of?" Han Yueyao, "Haha. I was just kidding. Don't take it seriously. I don't need that money." Seeing Han Yueyao's nervous expression, Su Yu couldn't help but laugh. "Don't laugh so hard. Don't stretch your wound, it's okay. I don't have any major wounds on my body. They're all in my head." Su Yu pointed at his head. Han Yueyao lowered her head and didn't speak. After the car accident, she felt something had changed between them. No, to be exact, her feelings for Suyu were different from before. Little money grubber, what's your plan after you get out of the hospital? Suyu stared at the TV but asked Han Yueyao. Chapter 3752. What other plans can I have? I'll just go back and do odd jobs. Han Yueyao pouted. Don't say that. To be honest, it's an honor for you to be able to do odd jobs at Imperial Star. After all, many people want to work here but can't. After all, the odd jobs in our company earn more than 5,000 yuan a month, plus insurance and housing. Han Yueyao. So what you're saying is that I should thank you. Seeing Suyu being narcissistic again, Han Yueyao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Of course. So, when I go back I have to work hard and do my odd jobs well. This is called returning to the basics, understand? Don't look at how much glory those celebrities have and how much praise they receive, but the pressure they face is also 10 times or 100 times more than ordinary people. To be honest, it's not an exaggeration at all. I often hear people say that it's better to do odd jobs at Imperial Star. They don't get paid and live happily. That's called saying it without thinking. It's just a saying, don't take it seriously. President Su, you're a big president, how can you believe such nonsense? Han Yueyao laughed at Suyu for being too naive. Not everyone cares so much about money, status and reputation. The path of the entertainment industry isn't easy. Look at Anai Yang. Isn't it the best choice for him to retire when he's at the peak? I do admire Anai Yang's approach, but people are different. They want different things, so the results are naturally different. Han Yueyao sighed. What about you? What do you want? Suyu looked at Han Yueyao's slightly haggard face and was curious. This woman was utilitarian. She was very well behaved when she was a trainee, and she was still very well behaved when she was doing odd jobs in the performance department. She didn't seem like a person who didn't know her place. But it didn't seem like the case that she didn't want fame and fortune. She loved money more than anyone else. So, Suyu was conflicted. He rarely paid attention to Han Yueyao before, but now that they were talking he really wanted to know what she wanted the most. Hearing this, Han Yueyao's eyes flickered. At that moment she seemed to be moved. In the end she chose to tell the truth. What I want is very simple. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be famous. I just want to earn a decent income. As long as I can earn more money so that my parents won't have to suffer so much, I don't mind playing small roles every day. You care so much about your income? That shouldn't be the case. You're not a poor peasant. Tiu was puzzled. Why did this lady care so much about her income? Nowadays, even university students from rural areas would look at their prospects and future when looking for a job. Han Yueyao came from a big city in Jing City and wasn't so stingy. Although I'm not from a poor family, I'm not from a rich family either. My parents are ordinary workers. Chapter 3753. Han Yueyao wasn't a crybaby, but for some reason, tears welled up in her eyes when she thought about it. Her voice was choked with sobs. She swore she wasn't acting for Suyu. She really felt sad when she thought about it. Otherwise, she would have left her hometown and come to this strange city. She would have been bullied for doing menial jobs at Imperial Star. What did she want? Suyu seemed to be moved as well. It seemed that he had wronged this girl. He thought she was vain and loved money because she was young. Seemed she loved money for a reason. For her parents. What else could he say? Mian treats you well. She found Jiang Yi for you, right? Yeah. Sister Mian treats me well. Yeah. Dr. Hu treats everyone well. Suyu smiled gently at the mention of Huamin. But I might have to let her down again. Let her down? Suyu felt something was wrong with her words. I originally agreed to star in Jiang Ye's new film, but now that I'm injured I can't make it in time. I'm not a big shot, so I can't ask him to give me a stunt double, so I've already told his manager that I'm giving up. You're giving up? Tiu was surprised. Yeah. I don't want to be a dog in the manger. I'll give the opportunity to someone else. I'll wait until I recover. Suyu didn't feel good about it. No matter what the reason was, Han Yueyao gave up on the new film with Jiang Yi because of the car accident. One had to know that for a newcomer like her, this was an opportunity to stand out. If she was lucky she might become famous overnight. But she gave up just like that, and she had a good reason. Just like that, Suyu gained a new understanding of Han Yueyao. At this moment Suyu's expression changed slightly. Ahem. Hanyueo. What? You can leave now. Why? I need to use the toilet. Suyu felt a little awkward. After all, he was talking about this in front of a girl. I'm alone in this room. If I go out, who can help you? Han Yueyao glared at him. You're in a wheelchair yourself. How can you help me? Suyu rolled his eyes. Then I can use a drink bottle to catch it for you. Han Yueyao couldn't help but laugh. Scram. Alright, stop fooling around. Actually, I'm not that badly injured. I can stand up slowly and help you to the bathroom. The problem is that I can't get up now, Suyu said innocently. Why don't I connect it with a bottle? Look, there's an activated bottle here. She picked up the half-empty bottle on the table and activated it. Get the hell out of here. Suyu's face darkened. He just couldn't figure out how there could be such a weird woman. Don't you know what shame is? You want to use a bottle to catch it? Even if she didn't, he didn't. President Su, did you transmigrate from a primitive society? What era are we living in? Besides, you're a patient now. If all the nurses in the hospital were as shy as you, wouldn't it be a mess? The problem is, you're not a nurse. Suyu emphasized. The problem is, you'd rather let the nurses take advantage of you than let me take advantage of you? People say that you should keep the goodies within your own family. I'm your employee. Can't you give me any benefits? Suyu was stunned. Damn it. Was this still considered an employee benefit? Han Yueyao, don't you have any shame? Suyu was furious. It was too damn shameful. Chapter 3754. If I don't want it, do you want me to help you? She continued to challenge Suyu's patience. For the first time in his life, he didn't know what to do with her. At this moment, Lady Su came back with a bowl of hot bone soup. Suyu looked as if he had grasped at a life-saving straw. Mom, you came back just in time. What's wrong? Lady Su looked at the two kids with a smile. Hurry up and get her out of here. Did you quarrel with Yao again? How dare I? Hurry up and get her out of here. I can't hold it in anymore. Suyu felt like he was on the verge of a breakdown. Mrs. Su was dumbfounded when she heard this. While Suyu's face darkened, she was wheeled out by a nurse. Walking out of Suyu's room, she couldn't help but laugh. Who said Lord Su was a pervert and didn't have a woman? She was too cute, wasn't she? Her shy look just now was so silly and adorable. On the other side, Huamin was still thinking about Ling Ling's request after work. So she asked the driver to drive her to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. She called Gao Ran, but Gao Ran seemed to be busy again. Now wait for me. I have a small meeting here and will go to you in a minute. Gao Ran hung up the phone and ordered his men to treat Huamin well. The young policeman who served Huamin poured a cup of hot water for Huamin. Please wait a moment. Our director will be here in a minute. Thank you. With a smile, Huamin took the cup of hot water and thanked him. At this moment, she thought of something and asked curiously, Mr. Policeman, may I ask who is Qin Yuning? She's over there. Hearing the policeman's words, Huamin looked in the direction but didn't see anyone. Where did she go? She was here just now. He probably went to the washroom. Please wait for a moment. She will be back soon. Do you want to call her over? Because Huamin was the chief's guest, the young policeman's attitude towards Huamin was particularly warm. Oh no, I'm just asking. Alright, then I'll get to work first. Alright. After sending the police away, Huamin sat there and continued to wait. Then he leisurely drank hot water while the bodyguards were waiting outside the door. This kind of attitude also attracted the attention of all kinds of gossips in the city bureau. Hey, did you guys see that? That's Mrs. Qin. A young lady from GK? It's true. My appearance is very ordinary. I'm not a beauty. Yeah, but she's very capable. I heard her husband dotes on her a lot. Look, she's pregnant with her second child. I heard that she has bodyguards following her everywhere. At first I thought it was a bluff, but now I know it's true. Look, there are 6 bodyguards outside the door. Yeah. I heard she and her husband are good friends with our director. Oh no, to be exact, they're childhood friends. They've known our director for many years. No wonder people are so polite to her when they see her. I'm so envious. No woman can be so beautiful. While they were talking, Qin Yuning came back from the washroom and slowly returned to her seat. Huamian saw the girl immediately. She was indeed a beauty. Even from afar, Huamian could tell that the girl had a delicate face. Chapter 3755. Huh. She's indeed a beauty. No wonder I'm so nervous about her. Huamin smiled faintly. At this moment, Gao Ran walked out of his office. The buttons on his police uniform were unbuttoned, revealing a black t-shirt underneath. Gao Ran had worked in the municipal bureau for many years. Young, he was experienced and had solved countless big cases. Therefore, he was highly respected by the police officers in the municipal bureau. Chief Gao. Chief Gao, everyone greeted him. Huamin didn't speak but watched quietly. Sure enough, when Gao Ran walked past Chen Yuning, the woman stood up with a swoosh. Gao Ran's attitude was very normal. He wasn't as easily seduced as Zhu Lingling had described. You must be tired from working overtime. I made you a cup of coffee to wake you up. Thank you. Gao Ran didn't seem to think too much about it. He took the coffee and walked over without stopping. Behind him, Chen Yuning looked at Gao Ran with infatuation in her eyes. Huamin saw that something was wrong and confirmed his speculation. It seemed that this was a story of how the prince had no dreams but the goddess had a heart. Gao Ran was young, handsome, resolute and steady in his work. He held a high position at such a young age and came from a high-ranking family. He was full of nobility. The girl had just graduated from college. As soon as she came in, she was surrounded and flattered by many male colleagues. Yet he had a special liking for his immediate superior. Even though she knew her boss was married with a wife and children, she still didn't want to give up. At this thought, Huamin thought, no matter how beautiful she was, once she became a mistress, she would become extremely ugly. Mian. Gao Ran had walked up to Huamin. Are you done? Yeah, I was working overtime for a meeting. Didn't I tell you to call me if you need me? Why are you here? Gao Ran sat opposite Huamin. Then he placed the coffee on the table. Huamin glanced at it. It was a Starbucks cup. This was not as simple as making a cup of coffee. It seemed that the girl was very considerate. Yeah, I'm fine. It's on my way home after work. You're so pregnant, don't run back and forth. If anything happens, how am I going to explain it to your husband? He'll chop me up. After Gao Ran said that, he laughed to himself. The surrounding policemen were also dumbfounded when they saw their usually serious chief talking and laughing with a woman. Chen Yuning glanced at them from time to time. How's the investigation going? I found some clues. What is it? Huamin's heart skipped a beat. Do you remember I told you that Zhao Fu adopted a child before? He couldn't afford to raise the child and sent him back. Yes. That child is probably Zhao Fu's biological son. A few years ago he had a relationship with a massage girl who worked in a hair salon. It's said that they lived together for more than a year. After the baby was born, the girl couldn't stand Zhao Fu's lack of money and ran away. What about the child? The child had congenital heart disease. Zhao Fu sent him to an orphanage. Later he took him back and sent him back. This man is really... Huamin didn't know what to say. Such a man didn't deserve to be a parent. What did he think the child was? He sent him to an orphanage and then took him back. Was the child a toy? Here's the suspicious part. 1 week before Zhao Fu's accident, the child received a mysterious huge sum of money and had a heart transplant operation. A huge sum of money? Huamin raised his eyebrows. That was indeed the key point. Chapter 3756. Yeah, a huge sum of money. How much is it? Huamin asked. 1 million. That's indeed a huge sum of money. Huamin nodded. That's why I think it's strange. Zhao Fu's kid hasn't received any funding for years, so how did he suddenly get the money for the operation? When I went to the orphanage to investigate, the orphanage told me that they received a huge sum of money from a mysterious person who wanted the operation for the kid. It's too much of a coincidence. So, just as I guessed, Zhao Fu was ordered by someone to hit Suyu on purpose. That sum of money must be from a transaction. Yeah, I think so too. Gao Ran completely agreed with Huamin. Did you check the source of the money? Yes, it's from a bank account. That's even more suspicious. It seems the person was afraid that we'd investigate and didn't leave any traces. Huamin's tone was heavy. Yeah, so I'm more and more convinced that your guess is right. This time it wasn't a coincidence. Someone must have planned it. But do you think it's possible that they came for Han Yueyao? Maybe the target is Han Yueyao and Su Yu was just unlucky to be in the car? Hee hee. How's that possible? Humin chuckled. Of course it's possible. I did some research and Han Yueyao isn't very popular in Imperial Star. We can't underestimate the competition among the female stars, Gao Ran guessed. But Han Yueyao isn't famous yet. Who would spend so much money to kill someone who isn't famous yet? Wouldn't that be crazy? Besides, everyone in our city knows Su Yu's car and license plate number. I don't believe those people would ignore Su Yu just to kill Han Yueyao. You're right. So, in conclusion, someone wants Su Yu dead. Yes, someone wants him dead. Humin was worried. Then I'll have to have a good chat with Lord Su when I'm free. I'll see how many enemies he has. Gao Ran couldn't help but laugh helplessly. No need. I don't think he knows it himself. He won't be able to explain it clearly. Moreover, he's still recuperating. It's better not to tell him about it first. You and Qin Chu are really a couple. He said so too. My husband said the same thing? Humin was puzzled. Yes, Qin Chu also seems to attach great importance to this matter. He's also investigating it. Of course. This is equivalent to a ticking time bomb. If we don't find out who it is, it's hard to say who knows what will happen in the future. Lord Su has always been careless, but we have to help him find out who's behind this. Have you eaten? Do you want me to treat you to a meal? But I don't have much money with me. I can only treat you to the canteen in our bureau. Forget it. I'll go home and eat. It's okay if you don't treat me well, but my baby will be hungry. Go home and eat. We'll have dinner together when we're free. Gao Ran chuckled. By the way, is that girl new here? He's very pretty. Humin glanced at Qin Yuning and asked casually. Oh. She came here in June. She just graduated from the police academy this year. She's very pretty. She looks like a star. It's a pity that such a pretty girl is a policewoman. Humin brought it up on purpose. Then he observed Gao Ran's reaction. Pretty? I think she's average. Maybe men have different aesthetic standards from you. Gao Ran touched his nose. He didn't know why Humian would suddenly talk about a young policeman. Does she have a boyfriend? Humin asked again. Chapter 3757. Gao Ran was surprised by Humin's question. I really don't know. As a leader, I don't have the nerve to ask my subordinates these questions. Gao Ran scratched his head and chuckled. Humin stared at Gao Ran's expression with a smile, confirming that Gao Ran didn't know the answer. It seemed Lingling had met a strong opponent this time. Why was she strong? Because her husband didn't even realize that a pretentious bitch was about to steal him. Humin was almost sure that Qin Yuning's love for Gao Ran was one-sided. Little by little they tried to attract Gao Ran's attention and interest. But obviously this was just the beginning. Lingling was right to be sensitive. She must kill this rival in love while it was still in the cradle to avoid future troubles. Hey, why are you asking these questions, Mian? You're acting strange today. Gao Ran wasn't stupid and thought Humin's questions were irrelevant. Yeah. We have some excellent male doctors at Southside, but they're all single. So as their leader, I'm very worried about them. Whenever I see a beautiful single girl, I'll try to find a partner for them. You're a good leader. You're so concerned about your employees. With a chuckle, Gao Ran suddenly turned his head and yelled, Little Qin, come here. Coming, Chief Gao. Hearing Gao Ran call her, Qin Yuning immediately walked up with her signature smile. He had to admit that this woman was very pleasing to look at up close and her smile was very comfortable. But Humin found it hard to believe what a scheming woman she was. Little Qin, do you have a boyfriend? Gao Ran asked directly. Chief Gao. Qin Yuning was surprised by Gao Ran's direct question and blushed. It's okay. Tell me the truth. I'm just asking. I haven't had a boyfriend since I started university. Qin Yuning said in a low voice, meaning that she had been single for a long time. Humin smiled and said, Does that mean that Miss Qin had one before university? Qin Yuning felt awkward. She immediately explained, Not really. It's just that when we were in high school I had a crush on a straight-A student in my class. But at that time we were both focused on our studies. Later on, when we went to university, the two of us were separated and nothing happened. Humin had a deep look in his eyes. This woman was really good at answering questions. No wonder Lingling was no match for her. With Lingling's personality, she was destined to be unable to deal with high-level scheming bitches. Oh, that's great. My friend wants to introduce a boyfriend to you. Gao Ran interrupted. Qin Yuning's face froze. Only then did Huamian explain, there are a lot of excellent male doctors at Southside and they're all single. When I saw Miss Qin just now I thought you were excellent so I asked Chief Gao. However, he didn't know if you were single so he asked. Please forgive me if I offended you. No. You're too kind. You're doing this for my sake. Qin Yuning kept addressing Huamin politely as if she were well educated. Little Qin, you can arrange a date with my friend and ask her to arrange a blind date for you. Gao Ran seemed to be enthusiastic about it. Huamin looked at Qin Yuning with a smile, waiting for her response. She knew that this woman wouldn't agree to her going on a blind date, especially in front of Gao Ran. Chapter 3758. Sure enough, Qin Yuning smiled. She glanced at Huamin and then turned to Gao Ran beside her. But Chief Gao, I'm sorry. My family has some prejudice against doctors. Back then, my grandmother was in the final stages of cancer. She had a conflict with the doctors when she was hospitalized in the county. Later, my grandmother passed away. My family has always felt that those doctors didn't do their job. They didn't try their best to save my grandmother because they failed to get red packets from her. Since then, my father has a deep misunderstanding of doctors. Someone has recommended it to him before, but my father doesn't agree with me at all. Qin Yuning said emotionally with tears in her eyes, making it seem like she wasn't making it up. Of course she didn't make it up. She just exaggerated the story. Huamin saw through her trick at a glance. But as a man, Gao Ran was completely in the dark. That's really unfortunate. Gao Ran looked solemn and sympathetic. In that case, forget it. I'll introduce other suitable bachelors to you in the future. Thank you, Vice Director Hua. Qin Yuning thanked him with a smile. Little Qin, you can go back to your work. Hey, Director Gao. Qin Yuning nodded and went back to her post. Huamin had a taste of this high-level green tea bitch and was impressed by her skills. Her acting skills were comparable to an Oscar-winning actress. After Song Yisher's death, he hadn't seen such a powerful woman in a long time. Although she was quiet, only a silent dog would bite. After exchanging a few words with Gao Ran, Huamin got into the car and returned to South Hill Manor. After playing with the kids for a while, Huamin was a bit tired. He was about to go upstairs to rest when Qin Chu came back. Honey, you've been going out early and coming home late these days. Yeah. My company has been busy buying a pharmaceutical company and has been evaluating it. A pharmaceutical company? Huamin was a little surprised. Yes, a biopharmaceutical company. Due to a health supplement that was suspected of cheating the elderly, the price was inflated and the content was impure. The big boss also fled to the United States. Now only his son and wife are left to clean up the mess. The mother and son seem to know that there's nothing they can do, so they've decided to sell it. Then why should we buy it? We've never been involved in drugs before. Huamin held Qin Chu's arm as they walked upstairs. There wasn't before, but there is now. Why? It's because our Vice Director Hua is about to be promoted to hospital director. After I acquire the pharmaceutical factory, I'm going to sell the medicine directly to Southside and the first hospital. What's wrong, honey? Can you make an exception for me? Qin Chu teased her on purpose. You wouldn't be interested in this small amount of money. Tell me why. Huamin knew that Qin Chu was a man who never cared about money. He definitely didn't do this for the sake of huge profits. Honey, don't you think the prices of the medicine on the market are inflated? Yes, I do. Then don't you think the ingredients are getting lesser and lesser? For example, in the past you could just take one cold pill. Now you can't even take a box of it. That's true. The domestic market for medicine is indeed a mess. It's a bad start. Huamin had worked in the hospital for many years and knew this unspoken rule. So, I want to build a pharmaceutical factory that's truly beneficial to the people. The price is fair and the ingredients are good. It's okay if we make less money, but I hope that many people won't forget to buy medicine for their illnesses. Wow. Honey, you're so grand. Qin Chu didn't seem like a Mary Sue. He only cared about the people in his family and wasn't interested in the outside world. Huamin felt that there must be a reason for his words. President Qin. Tell me your original intention of acquiring the pharmaceutical factory. Huamin blocked Qinchu's way and acted cute in front of him, trying to get the secret from her husband. Chapter 3759. Do you really want to hear it? Qinchu lowered his head, his eyes filled with adoration. Yes. Then give me a kiss. Huamin was speechless. Honey, you've become naughty. You even know how to threaten people. Huamin put her hands on her hips and reasoned with him. So, do you still want to hear it? Yes, yes. Huamin nodded her head like a chicken pecking at rice. Then she quickly kissed Qinchu's cheek. No, Mr. Qin said. Huamin was speechless. Then what do you want? Shouldn't you kiss me on the mouth? Mr. Qin protested. Please. This is a public place. It'll be bad if our parents and children see us. Even if Uncle Li sees us, it'll be awkward. Huamin glanced around and saw that they were in the corridor on the second floor. There were many people walking around. So we can go back to the bedroom. Before Huamin could say anything, Qinchu pulled her all the way to the spacious master bedroom on the second floor. Hey, no one's here now. Mr. Qin closed his eyes and looked like he was enjoying it. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She knew that if she didn't kiss this man properly today, she wouldn't be able to get away with it. As a result, she planted a kiss on Qinchu's lips. For some reason, after being together for so many years, they had 2 children. When Huamin touched Qinchu, she was still very excited and shy. It was just like their first kiss. Who said that after being married for so long, they were like left and right hands that didn't feel anything? That was pure nonsense. They were still very excited, okay? Honey, can you tell me now? Huamin pouted and asked coquettishly. Come sit here. Huamin patted his thigh and gestured for Huamin to sit in his arms. Huamin dragged her heavy body and slowly climbed up. Then she sat in Mr. Qin's arms like a koala. Qinchu hugged her just like that, and the 2 of them were just like before. An employee of the company applied for an advance payment a while ago. Because he wants an advance payment of 300,000, he asked me to sign it. Qinchu said. What level of employee? The most basic job is a programmer, with a monthly salary of about 8,000. Then an advance of 300,000 is quite a lot. It's almost 4 years of his annual salary. Yeah, I shouldn't have signed it. After all, the company doesn't have such a precedent. But after understanding the situation, I found out that his child is sick with leukemia and needs a lot of money for a bone marrow transplant. Is there no insurance? Huamin was puzzled. No, this employee comes from a mountainous area and his parents are farmers. He doesn't know much about insurance and thinks it might be a scam, so he has never applied for insurance before. That is indeed troublesome. Huamin felt a little regretful. Yes, so he had no choice but to apply to the company, but I didn't approve it. Oh? You didn't approve it? Huamin was a little shocked. Although her husband was usually cold and aloof, he wasn't this cold. What I mean is, I didn't use the company's name to give him the money, but I lent it to him as an individual. After hearing Qinchu's words, Huamin finally understood. She wrapped her arms around Qinchu's neck. Honey, is that why you wanted to open a pharmaceutical factory? I chatted with him and he told me some things. Later, I found out that in some poor areas medical care isn't very advanced, and it's very difficult to treat illnesses. Some elderly people don't even want to buy medicine when they're sick because they don't think they can afford it. So I wanted to do something. I'm not that generous to say that I'm doing charity, but I think I'm doing good for our unborn child. Qinchu sighed slightly. If he didn't know better, Qinchu wouldn't have believed that there were still many people who couldn't afford to buy medicine and treat illnesses. Honey, what kind of story did you hear that gave you this idea? Huamin felt that Qinchu must have been touched by something for him to make such a big decision. Chapter 3760. Qinchu sighed slightly and tightened his arms around Huamin. The employee told me that last year, there was an elderly couple who stayed behind in his hometown. Their son and daughter were both out of town and didn't come home all year round. The old man collected junk for a living and the old woman was mentally ill. The old man took care of his wife to make ends meet. Later, the old man's health deteriorated day by day. He fell sick and couldn't get up. However, he still couldn't bear to buy or treat his illness. In the end, after struggling for a few days, he thought of a way. He set fire to his house and burned himself. Perhaps he was afraid that if he died no one would take care of his wife, so he burned the old woman as well. Upon hearing this, Huamin almost burst into tears. His heart ached as if it was being squeezed by something. Although he didn't know this person, he still felt very sad when he heard this. They both lived their lives, but why were they so different? Some people lived in heaven while others lived in hell. What about the old man's son and daughter? Huamin asked in a choked voice. When they heard the news, they hurried back to collect the bodies. Then they sold the old man's house and land and left again. What an animal, Huamin cursed as he clenched his fists in anger. Qin Chu hugged Huamin and continued. So Mian, I think, if the medicine on the market wasn't so ridiculously expensive, the price was more affordable and the quality was better, perhaps this tragedy wouldn't have happened. A box of cold medicine that costs more than 100 yuan isn't a surprise to me, but for those who don't have enough money they can't afford it. Yes, I worked in the hospital. I know how it feels to want to treat someone but can't afford it. Huamin lowered his head. That's why I plan to enter the pharmaceutical industry. But honey, if we lower the price and change the ingredients, won't we attract jealousy from other people in the industry? There are despicable people in every industry. We're not doing business to the extreme and we're not leaving no room for others to survive. We're just doing our own business. If someone doesn't like us and wants to cause trouble, then bring it on. After all, we have a lot of enemies. Qin Chu smiled. Hubby, I like how mighty and domineering you are. I admire you so much. Huamin hugged Qin Chu and pressed her cheek against his. Qin Chu made his decision after careful consideration. He must have gone through repeated tests and verifications before making this purchase. After talking about the pharmaceutical factory, Huamin suddenly thought of Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling's crisis. Therefore, she briefly told Qin Chu what had happened. After hearing this, Qin Chu said with certainty, I can guarantee that Gao Ran definitely doesn't know, and he doesn't have the intention to do so. I believe her, but that woman is obviously trying to seduce Gao Ran. She even purposely made Lingling and other people misunderstand. Otherwise, why would she immediately buy the same clothes as Gao Ran? They really look like a couple. Indeed, that girl is very scheming. Why don't I ask old Gao to come out and talk about this? From Qin Chu's point of view, Gao Ran cared a lot about his family, especially his wife and children. Therefore, if he told Huamian directly, there might not be so much trouble. Hey, don't. Let me handle this. Do you want to help your best friend get rid of the mistress? Qin Chu smiled slightly as he looked at Huamin, who was full of fighting spirit. Yes, I have a way to deal with her. I must teach her a lesson and tell her, there's no good in being a mistress, and how shameful it is to destroy other people's families. Our Dr. Hua is the best. Okay, go take a shower and go to bed. After the two finished talking, they were about to go to bed when they heard a loud cry from outside the door. Mommy, Daddy, open the door. Chapter 3762. Even if Daddy doesn't know, it's fine. Daddy, if you want to know, will you tell me? Qin Chu sat on the edge of the bed and placed his hand on Pudding's curly hair. Pudding was a calm person, so she rarely acted like a spoiled child. She also rarely had physical contact with Huamin and Qin Chu. He wasn't like Little Bean, who always hugged his thigh and acted coquettishly to ask for hugs. Therefore, Qin Chu's subconscious doting made Pudding feel a little embarrassed. It's Little Bean's own fault. She was bored, so she played a game of dare with the kids in the group chat. Those who lost were punished. I heard that Little Bean was asked to drink 2 big bottles of orange juice. So, she wet the bed? Qin Chu raised his eyebrows. Yeah. But I'm not angry because she wet the bed. I'm angry because she lost to those kids whose IQ is lower than hers. Pudding looked down on Pudding. Hey, Daddy knows. Qin Chu was amused. He didn't expect so many funny stories to happen between kids. Previously, he was wondering why Little Bean rarely wet the bed anymore. So it was because she lost the game and drank so much juice. No wonder. Daddy, will you be angry with Pudding? Do you want Daddy to be angry? No, I don't. Although Pudding is ridiculous, she was scared after she wet the bed. She's afraid that Mommy will spank her. Yeah, I won't be angry with her. Daddy won't be angry with you because you're both Daddy and Mommy's favorite kids. Chin Chu patiently explained to Pudding. Then he looked at Pudding's phone. Are you still playing the stock market? Not much. A few new companies went public. The stock market is a bit unstable. Smart. Remember to tell Daddy if you need anything. Okay. Then you should rest early. Daddy will bring Pudding back in a bit. Okay. After a brief conversation, Chin Chu returned to the bedroom with a new set of pajamas. Huimin had already finished bathing Little Bean. Then Huimin helped Little Bean change her clothes. Chin Chu carried her back to her room. By the time they were done, it was already 11:30 at night. Chin Chu didn't tell Huimin why Little Bean wet the bed. After all, it wasn't a big deal. Little Bean was only 3 years old. At this age, children did things that should be done at this age. Chin Chu didn't think it was shameful. Honey, when our babies are born, will you continue to love Pudding and Little Bean? Aren't you asking nonsense? They're all my children. What do you think? I lied to you. When the time comes, you will favor your son and neglect your daughter. How could that be? They all say that daughters are their father's little lovers in their previous lives. I'll love them even more. Yes. After all, you have 2 lovers. Huimin chuckled. Since they're here, it means they're fated to be with us. No matter what, they're the sweetest burden in our lives. Chin Chu sighed. Huimin rested his head on his arm, feeling sweetness in his heart. Chapter 3763. It's you. Seeing the newcomer, Han Yueyao's face turned cold. Aren't you Suyu's girlfriend? How come you don't even have a bodyguard at the door? You don't even have a caregiver in the house. In fact, Lady Su had arranged a bodyguard for her, but she had refused. Han Yueyao thought she wasn't a celebrity or a big shot and didn't need a bodyguard. It would be embarrassing. As for the caregiver, Huimin had arranged one for her. But it was late and the caregiver needed to rest. So Han Yueyao had asked the caregiver to go to bed. She was surprised that Xing Ro came in at this hour without knocking. You seem to like meddling in other people's business. Han Yueyao chuckled. Who said so? I only care about things related to Suyu. Then go to Suyu. Don't tell me you can't get in because of the bodyguards at the door. So you can only vent your anger on me. Vent your anger? Do you deserve it? Xing Ro glanced at Han Yueyao in disdain. You're a commoner with no education, background, and connections. Suyu likes you only because of your face, right? Even if it's because of my face, I'm better than you. You're not as good looking as me. You just have a good father. Han Yueyao didn't back down. There was no third person here, so the 2 women didn't need to exchange pleasantries. A good father can keep me safe for the rest of my life. What about you? You're like a maid in the same room with Suyu. When Suyu got into a car accident, you lost half of your life. Is it worth it? It's worth it. I'm willing to do it. Han Yueyao chuckled. What will it take for you to leave Suyu? Isn't it for money? Yeah. I'm doing it for money. What can you do to me? If you have the ability, why don't you act like what's written in the novels? Don't the evil female supporting characters always throw me a check and tell me to scram after taking the money? If you want to give me money, please give me a little because I have a big appetite. Xing Ro was defeated by her sharp tongue. No matter what she said, Han Yueyao wasn't angry, but Han Yueyao's words made her furious. You don't mind that Suyu has another woman in his heart? No, I don't mind at all. You're such a coward. Xing Ro's face darkened. Do you have any other tricks up your sleeve? If you don't, then get out of here. Don't talk about Sister Mion and Suyu again. Sister Mion is about to give birth to her 2nd child. Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning for spreading such rumors? To think that she still believed you and thought that you were a good person. It's only been a while and you've already let the cat out of the bag. Han Yueyao's words provoked Xing Ro too much. Therefore, she rushed over in anger and grabbed Han Yueyao's long hair rudely. Injured, Han Yueyao couldn't move or get off the ground, so she was at a disadvantage. Wait for me if you dare. She said you don't have money. Han Yueyao exposed him directly. Lin Heng didn't speak. Did you borrow the money from your friends? Give it back. I don't need you to pay for my medical expenses. Well, it's really my own money. Then where did you get so much money? Han Yueyao was afraid he would do something wrong to pay the money. Then she would be the culprit. Chapter 3765. Yes, there is a rich second generation who asked me to modify his car. I don't think that person's quality is very good and he doesn't really love cars. He just wants to show off, so I didn't agree. However, he offered a very high price, 60,000 yuan for each modification. So you agreed? Yeah. Where's your integrity? Han Yueyao was angry. I don't have the face to talk about integrity in life. Besides, I'm just modifying a car for him with my own skills. I won't kill or set fire to it. The problem is that I've paid for the medical expenses. What are you talking about? Han Yueyao was troubled by this blockhead's stubbornness. I just don't want you to use Su Yu's money. Han Yueyao, don't be friends with Su Yu, okay? Han Yueyao didn't feel comfortable with such a straightforward question. First of all, her relationship with Su Yu hadn't progressed to that stage yet. They were still friends. They weren't even friends. At most, they were employees and bosses. Second of all, although Lin Heng was a man of few words, his words sometimes made her speechless. Su Yu has so many women around him. If he betrays you, you'll be sad. If you're with me, I promise I'll only be good to you. Lin Heng Xiao is sincere to you. But I don't like Su Xiao. But I don't like you either. Han Yueyao knew her words might hurt him, but she didn't like him. I know you don't like me, but I won't give up. I'll always be good to you. What if you fall in love with me in the future? But you know my path. I'm going to enter the entertainment industry, Han Yueyao reminded him. I know. You don't mind. Oh. Hey, you're really stubborn. Seeing he wouldn't listen to her, Han Yueyao didn't bother to say more and continued drinking water. Do you know who Huamin is? She's the vice director of Southside and the youngest genius female doctor. I heard her husband is the president of GK. It seemed this blockhead was smart this time. Yeah, you're right. What? Why mention this person out of the blue? Huamin is my cousin. Even if the Su family doesn't pay for my medical bills, my cousin will take care of it. So, I really don't need your help. I've already told my cousin to get the hospital's finance department to return the money to your card. No, just use mine. Lin Heng seemed to be very determined. What? Don't you have to pay me back? Han Yueyao was both angry and amused. In order to comfort this blockhead, she even lied about Huamin being her cousin. This guy was still not willing. Of course I don't want you to return it. But why should I take so much of your money for nothing? I don't deserve it, you know? There's no reason. I just don't want you to pay me back. Anyway, you just need to get better. If you return the money, I'll pay you back. Don't worry, I won't force you to date me just because of money. I won't force you to do anything. I'm not that kind of person. Lin Heng was a little agitated. After saying that, he got up and was about to leave. When he was at the door, he suddenly thought of something. He turned around and took out a big dragon fruit from the pocket of his thick jacket. He placed it on the table. I heard this is an imported red heart. Should be very sweet. Try it. Then he turned around and left again. Han Yueyao looked at the huge dragon fruit with a dumbfounded expression. This man was really a weirdo. At this moment the Gao family was also very lively. When Gao Ran came back from overtime, it was almost 10 p.m. As soon as he entered the house, he felt something was wrong. Chapter 3766. Honey, I'm starving. Gao Ran entered the house, took off his police uniform and said that he was hungry. Usually, even if Zhu Lingling was already lying down, she would get up and make him some noodles or wontons. But today, honey? He called out twice but no one answered. Curious, Gao Ran walked into the bedroom. Looking at the scene before him, Zhu Lingling was lying on the bed with her phone in her hand. Her face was expressionless. Gao Buyuan was beside Zhu Lingling holding a tablet computer. The mother and son didn't say anything as they played with their phones and computers. You've been calling for a long time. Why aren't you responding? Gao Ran asked with a smile. Still no one responded. Honey, I'm starving. I've been busy this afternoon and haven't eaten. Gao Ran felt wronged, and hoped that he could eat supper made by his wife. Really? Then you can starve to death, Zhu Lingling said coldly. Gao Ran, honey, what's wrong? Are you unhappy today? I've been unhappy these days. Can't you tell? Zhu Lingling glared at him. Are you on your period? That's not right. Isn't it the 15th of every month? Gao Ran scratched his head. Get lost. Zhu Lingling didn't like him at all. Son, tell Dad what's going on. Gao Ran placed his hopes on his son. To his surprise, Buin shrunk his head under the blanket. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Gao Ran, honey, come on. Let's talk. Gao Ran felt that it was necessary to talk to his wife. She hadn't been in a good mood these days. He sent her WeChat messages during the day but she ignored him. He thought that she was busy but now it seemed that wasn't the case. She was in a bad mood. Let's talk. I'm not afraid of you. Zhu Lingling put down her phone and walked straight to the living room. Gao Ran quickly sat down in front of her and said, Honey, if you want to talk, just talk. Don't be so cheap and don't touch me. Stay away from me. Zhu Lingling's attitude was quite fierce. Honey, what's wrong with you? Not to my liking. Why? I don't like you. Ha, why don't you like me? Am I too busy recently and neglected you? Don't be angry. After I finish this case, I'll ask my boss for permission to take a few days off. I'll take you and Buin to Disneyland, okay? Did you do something wrong, Gao Ran? Otherwise, why would you be so kind? Buin has been talking about going to Disneyland for 2 months, but you didn't say anything. Zhu Lingling glared at Gao Ran. Of course not. Don't talk nonsense. I've been really busy recently. Mion asked me to investigate someone so we went together. Don't use Mion as an excuse. You're just a director, why are you showing off? You even drive a Land Rover. If I didn't know better, I'd think you got it through corruption. Don't accuse me. I'm clean. Drive the Land Rover for me tomorrow, Zhu Lingling ordered. No problem, honey. Then I'll drive your Q5. In your dreams. Haven't you been advocating environmentally friendly new energy sources recently? I bought you an electric car. You can drive that one. It's in the garage. You bought an electric car? Gao Ran was dumbfounded. Yes. What brand? B. Zhu Lingling crossed her legs and said matter-of-factly. Gao Ran, honey, did I do something to offend you recently? Gao Ran felt it wasn't a coincidence that his Land Rover was confiscated and replaced with a BYD. Chapter 3767. What do you think? Zhu Lingling widened her eyes as if she wanted to eat him alive. I really don't know what's going on. Gao Ran really didn't know what was going on with his wife. He even suspected that Lingling had gotten a new chapter too early. If you don't know, then forget it. Let's settle the car. Hey? Honey, Gao Ran really didn't want his luxury car to die for no reason, so he wanted to explain. When Zhu Lingling walked past him, she grabbed his collar. A t-shirt costs more than 3,000 yuan. I was so nice to you before. Don't wear this Burberry. I went to the supermarket today and bought you a lot of Jeeves and Nadia. Gao Ran. Oh yeah, and your leather shoes. You work overtime all day and you don't need to wear handmade Italian shoes. What a waste. You can wear the ones I bought wholesale from Taobao. They cost 98 yuan a pair. I bought you 10 pairs. They'll be enough for you to wear for a while. Gao Ran. Also, the cigarettes you smoke, don't be so high profile outside. Otherwise, if some attentive media takes photos of you and spreads it, won't your reputation be ruined? In the future, just change it to 7 yuan. The cigarettes were also changed from 35 yuan to 7 yuan. Gao Ran felt like the sky was falling. Yes, the sky was falling. Honey, you don't want to live with me anymore, right? If you want a divorce, I'll agree. But I'll give you the house, the car, and our son. You'll leave with nothing. Why? Gao Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Why? Don't you know what's going on? Zhu Lingling raised her voice with her hands on her hips. What do I know? Lingling, stop messing around. It's the middle of the night. I'm starving. Cook me a bowl of noodles, good girl. Good girl, my ass. Cook yourself if you want to eat noodles. I'm not your nanny. I'm not going to serve you. Zhu Lingling waved her hand. He picked up Gao Ran's bag and took out his wallet. She took out his credit card right in front of him. Honey, I've already given you my salary card. Aren't you going to keep my credit card? You have a cafeteria at work and a car to drive back and forth. What's the point of having so much money? Then I'll cheer you on. Here, gas card. Zhu Lingling seemed to have prepared for this. She threw a gas card on the coffee table. Gao Ran was speechless. Then I'll buy water outside when I'm thirsty. I'm sending you a WeChat red packet now. From now on your monthly allowance will be 500 yuan. With a ding, Gao Ran received a WeChat transfer of 500 yuan to his phone. She raised her head and looked at Zhu Lingling's expression. She really didn't seem to be joking. Honey, I'll tell you. Before Gao Ran could finish his words, Zhu Lingling turned around and entered the bedroom, slamming the door shut. He was left in the living room dumbfounded. At this moment, Gao Buyan got up and went to pee. Seeing his dad sitting in the living room looking like he had lost his soul, he felt very sympathetic. He walked over and patted Gao Ran's shoulder with his chubby little hand. Dad, did you do something wrong to Mom? Gao Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Last month I secretly bought more than 200 yuan of Mobile Legends behind your mom's back. Does that count? Gao Buyuan was speechless. Anyways, if you did something wrong you should go and apologize. Otherwise your bad luck is just beginning. After speaking with deep meaning, Gao Buyan walked toward the bathroom. Gao Ran was speechless. While he was in a daze, Gao Ran's phone rang again. Chief Gao, are you resting? Chapter 3768. Gao Ran frowned and glanced at his cell phone. It was a text message, not a WeChat message. Who is this? Director Gao, I'm Qin Yuning. Little Qin, what's up? Gao Ran was still in a bad mood after being scolded by his wife, so he wasn't in the mood to chat with his subordinates. Oh, I have some work details to report. Can you add me on WeChat? Work stuff? You can talk to your boss, Section Chief Liu. He'll tell me in the meeting tomorrow. Have a good rest. I won't disturb you. Okay. By the way, Chief Gao, my relative brought some specialty tea leaves from his hometown. I heard that you like tea a lot, so I left some for you. Please don't think that I'm giving you a gift. After all, this thing is cheap. It's only a few hundred yuan, so it's not worth it. Right? I just remembered that you like tea. Thank you. Gao Ran sounded distant and didn't reply to Qin Yuning. He was in no mood to pay attention to this new female college student in the bureau. So many things had happened recently. Since the vampire case, the provincial government had been dissatisfied with him. Gao Ran was nervous in every meeting, so he focused all his attention on the case and had no time to look at beautiful women. However, he didn't know what women were capable of, which led to Zhu Lingling's misunderstanding. Seeing his wife so angry, Gao Ran didn't dare to add fuel to the fire. So he took a blanket and slept in the living room. Why didn't he sleep in the guest bedroom? It was simple. That way he would look pitiful and win sympathy so that his wife wouldn't be angry. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Zhu Lingling and her son woke up. When they walked into the living room they saw a neatly folded blanket and pillows. Mom, Dad did sleep in the living room last night. So cold. Will he catch a cold? Buyuan mumbled. He's as strong as a cow. How can he catch a cold? Zhu Lingling said grumpily. There's breakfast on the table. Buyuan walked over with Zhu Lingling following behind him. On the table were deep-fried dough sticks, soy milk, tea, eggs and sliced ham. There was also a note on it. I bought breakfast. Eat it while it's hot. I'm going to work. Wow, Dad actually knows to buy us breakfast. He's feeling guilty, that's why he's acting like a lackey. Mom, what did my dad do wrong? Why did you confiscate his Land Rover? Buyuan was very curious, but he didn't dare to ask because his mom was in a bad mood last night. Buyuan, if your dad has a mistress outside, will you forgive him? That's impossible. Why do you trust him so much? Is it because he is your father? Zhu Lingling looked at her son curiously. No. Dad said that no vixen can beat a tigress like you, Zhu Lingling. Did your father tell you that? Zhu Lingling was so angry that her face turned pale. Did I say something wrong again? It seems I have to get back the 500 WeChat red packet tonight. Gao Ran is a bastard. Mom, you can't call Dad a bastard. Gao Buyuan looked displeased. Why? Because if he's a bastard then I'm a little bastard, right? Gao Buyuan looked baffled. Zhu Lingling, are we going to have breakfast or not? Buyuan was so scared that he didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Of course we're going to have breakfast. If we don't, are we going to feed it to the mistress? Then Zhu Lingling sat down with her son to have breakfast. In the municipal bureau Gao Ran sneezed several times, wondering who was scolding him. Director Gao, tea leaves. Qin Yuning placed a gift box on Gao Ran's desk. Thank you. Director Gao, have you had breakfast? Qin Yuning asked with a shy smile. Chapter 3769. Yeah, I did. Gao Ran turned on the computer to prepare for the meeting. Chief Gao, I recently bought an oven at home, so I made a lot of cookies. I brought some for everyone. You can have some too. While speaking, Qin Yuning took out a small bag with exquisite packaging. Oh no. I don't like sweet things. To her surprise, Gao Ran refused without hesitation. You can give some to your baby. Qin Yuning smiled sweetly without changing her expression. All men would like sweet things, right? To her surprise, Gao Ran immediately replied, no. My wife won't let my son have sweet things because she's afraid his teeth won't be good. Except for my daughter-in-law, no one can give my son sweet things. Daughter-in-law? Qin Yuning was puzzled, wondering why Director Gao's son was only a little more than 3 years old. Huh. She's the daughter of one of my brothers. We arranged a marriage when she was a baby, Gao Ran explained. Oh. Seeing Gao Ran refuse, Qin Yuning put down the tea leaves and walked out in disappointment. Gao Ran continued to prepare for the meeting. He still didn't realize this female college student's feelings for him. Of course, Gao Ran didn't think about it at all. He had been busy all day. Besides, it was normal for new colleagues to give each other gifts to get along well with each other. Qin Yuning's kindness to Gao Ran wasn't obvious and wouldn't be noticed by her colleagues. Whenever she wanted to give something to Gao Ran, she would prepare more gifts for everyone. So her colleagues in the municipal bureau liked her very much. There were also countless male colleagues who were secretly in love with her. After sending her son to school, Zhu Lingling received a call from Huamin. Huamin's chauffeur drove the car to her apartment building and picked up Zhu Lingling. You can tell me the address. I can go there by myself. Why did I bother you to come here? Zhu Lingling couldn't bear to look at Huamin's big belly. Huamin smiled. It's fine. I'm not the one driving it anyway. By the way, you said you would bring me to a place. Where is it? You'll know when we get there. Huamin pretended to be mysterious. Were you two still peaceful yesterday? Huamin asked. Peace my ass. This guy is getting more and more annoying. He came home so late and wanted me to make him supper. Did he think I was his nanny? I scolded him. After that, Zhu Lingling told Huamin about what had happened last night. Ah. You can still laugh. Lingling, you're a capitalist. You control your husband so much. Plus, is it really okay for a bureau chief to wear Taobao shoes, drive a BYD and smoke cigarettes that cost 7 yuan? Won't people laugh at you? He's the one who's being laughed at, not me. I don't care. Plus, even if he's being laughed at, it's better than being seduced by a vixen. Don't think too much about it. It's nothing. After we go to this place today, I'll tell you about it. You'll understand. Huamin decided to tell Lingling that Gao Ran was actually kept in the dark and that everything was done by that flirtatious bitch. Otherwise, Gao Ran would be tortured by his wife even though he kept his chastity. Okay, I'll listen to you. After all, Mian is so smart. Zhu Lingling was always in a good mood when she was with Huamin. During the years they were together, she remembered everything Huamin had done for her. This was a true bestie. China's best bestie. When they passed by a supermarket, Huamin asked the chauffeur to stop the car and got out with Zhu Lingling to buy some expensive health products. There were bird's nest and sea cucumber. Mian, tell me, who are you buying these for? Zhu Lingling was curious. For the vixen's parents. Huamin was extremely calm. Chapter 3770. What? Zhu Lingling panicked when she heard that. Did I hear you right? You're buying these for the vixen's parents? Zhu Lingling was going crazy. Huamin had just paid 10,000 yuan for these things. These tonics were top grade. Why would he give them to the vixen's parents? Don't worry. Watch me. Huamin only smiled but didn't explain. Half an hour later, the car stopped by a rice noodle shop. The shop wasn't big and looked old. But there were many customers, probably because it was almost lunchtime. Zhu Lingling got out of the car with a dark face. She wondered what kind of parents raised a vixen who seduced other women's husbands. Huamin's bodyguards helped her take down the tonics and walked in. Miss, do you want some rice noodle? An old woman in her 50s wearing an apron was very enthusiastic. Auntie, is this Qin Yuning's house? Yes. Do you know our Yuning? Huamin and Zhu Lingling exchanged a look and said with a smile, "Hello, Auntie. This is the wife of Director Gao of the Municipal Public Security Bureau. We're here to visit the family of our employee on behalf of our leader." "Oh, Director Gao's wife, please come in." Hearing that they were Director Gao's wife, the auntie immediately invited Huamin and Zhu Lingling in. "Auntie, don't be nervous. We heard that your family has a rice noodle shop and the noodles are delicious, so we came to have a look and bought some things for you and uncle." With that, Huamin asked the bodyguards to put the things on the table. No, they're too expensive. How can we accept them? Besides, you're the family of our leader. We should give you gifts, not our subordinates." The auntie understood. Zhu Lingling was not very happy and her face was cold the whole time. She listened to Huamin's words. "It's okay, don't worry. As for Yuning, her performance in the unit is also very good. Everyone likes her very much. Consider it a benefit for our employees." Since Huamin said so, the auntie didn't refuse anymore. He happily accepted the gift. "Have you had lunch? Shall I make some rice noodles for you?" "Okay, thank you, Auntie." Huamin smiled. After that, the auntie went to make the noodles and happily talked to her husband in the kitchen. Zhu Lingling's face was filled with disbelief. "Mian, even if our money is wasted, we can't let them take advantage of us. Have you lost your mind because of your pregnancy?" "Don't worry, this is called strategy." Huamin sipped his tea leisurely. After a while, the auntie came over with a bowl of steaming hot rice noodles. "I don't know what flavor you like, but seeing that this girl is pregnant, I thought that she shouldn't eat anything too spicy, so I made a pot of mushroom soup. I like mushroom soup." "Thank you, Auntie." Huamin thanked her with a smile and then looked at the auntie. "If you're not busy, sit down and let's talk." Okay. The auntie seemed a little reserved. After all, she was facing the wife of the director. Auntie Yuning is a girl. Why did she choose to go to the public security university? It's so dangerous. Huamin asked deliberately. At the mention of this, the auntie's chatterbox was completely opened. "Isn't that right? Her father and I didn't support it, but the child didn't listen to us. She insisted on going. Fortunately, it's an office job and she doesn't have to go out on missions. We're relieved." "Does Yuning have a boyfriend?" Huamin pretended to ask casually as he ate the rice noodles. "No, this child is busy. Many relatives and friends introduced her to him, but she won't look at him. Her father and I are worried sick." "It's okay. Maybe it's not fate yet." "I don't think so. I think she has a target," Zhu Lingling said abruptly. Qin Yuning's mother was slightly surprised. Chapter 3771. Cough cough. What our bureau chief's wife means is that your Yuning might have someone she likes, which is why she refused to go on a blind date. With that, Huamin kicked Zhu Lingling under the table, telling her not to talk nonsense. "Ah, that's possible. I'll ask her when I have the chance." The auntie seemed to believe this. Huamin immediately said, "Auntie, Yuning is the only daughter in your family, right?" "Yeah, to be honest, my man and I only had Yuning after 8 years of marriage. We love her so much. And I can see that Yuning has been educated well by you. So when our colleagues at the unit gossip, we can't tolerate it." "Gossiping? What gossiping?" The auntie wasn't stupid. She immediately understood the meaning behind Huamin's words. "There are too many colleagues at the unit. They say that Yuning, a little girl who just graduated, relied on her eyebrows to curry favor with the leaders of the city bureau. But most of the leaders of the city bureau are married and they are all married men. So when these words spread, it's so unpleasant to hear. Oh my God, why would someone say that? Our daughter would never do that. Her father and I are both people who care about face and we can't bear to hear this the most. Moreover, Yuning wouldn't do it either." The auntie seemed very nervous and kept saying that Yuning wouldn't do it. Zhu Lingling almost rolled her eyes. She thought to herself, "Your daughter is already wearing a couple's outfit with my husband, and you still don't know how to do it? Here. Putting on an act." It could be seen that the two elders of the Qin family were honest people. This way it would be easier to handle. Huamin smiled and quickly said, "Auntie, don't worry. These are all rumors." Later, when our bureau chief heard about it, he scolded everyone and didn't let them spread the rumors. The bureau chief is a wise person. His wife feels that this matter has a bad impact on your Yuning, so she wants to come with us to express her condolences and see you. Thank you, Madam Bureau Chief. The auntie looked at Zhu Lingling with a sincere expression. Zhu Lingling squeezed out a smile and didn't say anything. After eating the rice noodles, Huamin and Zhu Lingling left without lingering. Before she left, Huamian said to Qin Yuning's mother in a meaningful tone, "Auntie, your Yuning is excellent. If you don't have a suitable boyfriend, our director's wife can introduce you to him. Don't hesitate." "Thank you, sir." The auntie thanked Huamian profusely. After they got into the car, Zhu Lingling couldn't help but ask, "Mian, what are you doing? I don't get it. You bought over 10,000 yuan worth of stuff for them. Isn't this too wasteful?" Zhu Lingling was still thinking about the 10,000 yuan. "Don't worry, there will be a good show. I don't want to give him a hard time. I'm going to divorce him. I'll tell my in-laws this week." "You're so impatient." Huamin poked the tip of Zhu Lingling's nose with his finger. "Of course. If your husband cheated on you, how could you stay calm? You've misunderstood Gao Ran this time." Huamin told Zhu Lingling the whole story and showed her the results of the investigation. "Qin Yuning bought these clothes herself to make you misunderstand her. To tell you the truth, Gao Ran still doesn't know Qin Yuning has feelings for him. Tell me, did you misunderstand him by doing this? Is this for real? Don't lie to me." Zhu Lingling was dumbfounded. "We've known each other for so many years. I'd rather lie to Gao Ran than to you, sis. This woman did this." "Phew, that's right, Miss Zhu Lingling. You've indeed met a high-level vixen. She's much more cunning than you are. If I didn't help you, you would have fallen into her trap and divorced your husband a long time ago. After she pushed you out of the picture, she's slowly wooing your husband. He's amazing, right?" Huamian explained. Zhu Lingling's heart sank when she heard his words, wondering how such a terrifying woman could exist in the world. "Mian, what should we do next?" Zhu Lingling was alarmed. Chapter 3772. It's simple. Let's see how she reacts. Then I'll think about how to deal with it. She's a vixen. How can she react? Zhu Lingling was furious with Qin Yuning. She wished she could go to the Municipal Public Security Bureau, drag that woman out and scratch her face. But Huamin wouldn't let her do that. First, she would embarrass herself and Gao Ran. After all, he was the director. If he became a laughingstock because of this, he would lose his prestige in the future. Second, under normal circumstances, when the wife made a scene at the company and the mistress pretended to be innocent and pitiful, most men didn't like their wives who were as fierce as a tigress. Therefore, Huamin didn't want Lingling to lose in temperament, which was why he put on a show today. "Mian, do you think the show will work?" "Let's wait and see." Qin Yuning was a high-level vixen, but Huamin wasn't a pushover either and was confident he could deal with her. More importantly, Gao Ran didn't know about it and was kept in the dark. "Lingling, you can't misunderstand Gao Ran anymore. If you continue the Cold War, it'll hurt your relationship and that woman will take advantage of it. You'll cry." Huamin advised Zhu Lingling again. "Got it. I'll change it when I get back." Hearing that her man didn't know about it and was wronged, Zhu Lingling was pleased. "Hey, let's talk on WeChat later. I'll go back to the hospital." After asking the driver to drive Zhu Lingling home, Huamin went back to the hospital. In the evening, Qin Yuning came back from work and went to the shop to help. The Qin family wasn't a rich family, but they had made a lot of money with this small shop. Therefore, they doted on their only daughter very much. After work, Qin Yuning didn't need to take her salary home. She lived off her parents and used their money. When she ran out of money, her parents would subsidize her. That was why she had the money to buy the same clothes as Gao Ran's. Of course, it was only for the mid-range ones. She couldn't afford the high-end ones at all. "Mom, you bought Bird's Nest?" Qin Yuning was surprised to see the bird's nest and sea cucumber on the counter. "No, how could I bear to buy this? So expensive." "It's your leader." "No, it's the leader's wife who came to visit us today and bought it for us." "Leader's wife?" Qin Yuning was even more baffled. "Yes, Director Gao's wife is here today." Hearing this, Qin Yuning's heart skipped a beat. Then he asked guiltily, What is she doing here?" She said that you're doing very well at work, and Director Gao often praises you for your professionalism. He came to visit us and bought a lot of things for me and your dad. We were so embarrassed. Mrs. Gao is so beautiful and gentle. Director Gao is so lucky. I heard that the young master is already several years old. How lucky. Qin Yuning didn't pay attention to her mother's words. She was smart enough to know that Zhu Lingling wouldn't visit her for no reason. She had thought that Zhu Lingling would talk to her in private, but to her surprise Zhu Lingling didn't come. Instead of coming to her, Zhu Lingling came to her home. Mom, what else did she say to you? Qin Yuning was a little scared. Her parents were honest people. What if Zhu Lingling said something she shouldn't? By the way, there's another girl with her. He's also very nice. She's pregnant and looks like she's about to give birth. He keeps saying that our rice noodles are delicious. Hearing this, Qin Yuning's face turned livid. Zhu Lingling's bestie? Pregnant? Was she the legendary Huamin? You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.